Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper. Yes, Bull Piper. I know you guys like Bear Piper. I would like to be Bear Piper too. That means I can buy cheaper. But right now, we've got to go with what the markets are telling us. And right now, the markets are telling us Green Day is a great band. That's what they're telling us. If we take a look at the hourly here, guys, quite a bit of red coming in on hourly. Right now, markets opening, NASDAQ up 0.64%. So not horrible there on that. Dropping quickly, though, down to 0.61. Russell 2000 is down today after a amazing day yesterday. So that's okay. Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ all opening to the upside today. We also have gold doing a little pullback, and actually it's doing a little pump now. It's back up to about 2,700 again. Silver's up to $31.80. Both getting some movements today. And the 10-year yield slowing down just a little. Guys, good morning and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. We're going to be looking at a lot of data today. It's FOMC day, first of all. So, of course, we got to talk about that. That's going to be going on this afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be about noon my time that I'll be watching that stuff. But, guys, this chart here, you guys remember this chart? Had all of the cycles, Bitcoin halvings. Like there's a halving, there's another halving there. Yeah. We talked about this before on the show, and I said, look, we've got this area over here where we could not break through that one-to-one line. Well, we're breaking through that. Where does that give us a target to? Where is it going to go? Could we see $300,000? And it's not even this chart. It's not even this chart that's given me that. It's actually another analyst, and we are looking at that article today too, guys. We're going to look at a lot of data today. So hang in there, strap in, get your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get it. Let's go. Class is in session. And look, Piper, just like that, Bull Piper is back. Welcome to the show, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. If you guys haven't smashed that like button, hit that notification bell. Do so. Of course, that means you got to subscribe. If you're going to hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. We are growing, and I thank all of you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, but the biggest shout out, my co-host, the guy that's going to be joining me today, right there. Bam, let's go. OC guy, how you doing, bro? Oh, Randy Hipper's in the house. She said, good morning, friends. I wanted to send some love to my frat kids. Thank you, Randy Hipper, for joining us over here. That's so cool. We appreciate you and everyone over there at the Randy Hipper frat house. Frat mom's in the house. She got our attendees ready. OC, how you feeling today? We've had a little continuation of the market moves, had a slight little pullback overnight, little reset on that price action, slowed down the volatility a little bit. And then, all of a sudden, wham, bam, it started to pick back up again. How are you feeling about the markets?
Oh, I'm feeling way better, especially since Randy Keeper is in the house. Yay! Shout out to Randy Keeper. I am bullish. Let me make that clear. I'm pretty bullish, but I see a possible reversal coming up here, and that's because of the big movement that we just had. Not only that, we're just breaking previous highs, and we're making a little bit of up range to the upside, right? Usually that up range tends to break to the downside for a little bit back test or pullback. I'm hoping that this pullback, or a better description is this retracement would be on time, over time, and not overpriced. That being said, we keep ranging for a little bit. Maybe we go visit some immediate lows, but we keep we keep volume, or we keep speed. And that basically will get the momentum still up plane or up flat at the top, and then getting ready for the next movement and break out that trend line that we are seeing at this moment. But yeah, pretty excited. Muted?
Of course I am. Let's jump into these charts. Let's jump into this news, and let's knock this news out, and then we're going to get into the charts and start looking where Bitcoin's at. So let's go. News time. Let's get it. All the news that's fit to be news. Welcome to Market morning report here. It's news time with Army Piper. Guys, we do have the market cap coming in right now. $2.6 trillion, up 1.92. Let's give it a little refresh here. Let's get a little fresh with it. Yeah, $2.6 trillion right now, up 1.18%. Now, I do talk about this a lot. Our volume is slowing down. You see the red volume there, but we have a big green market cap over there, up 1.1%, volume dropping. That typically says that the pump is not very strong. However, I want to remind you guys that yesterday we had a volume of like 146%. That means that we could have a little 30% pullback and it's just a slowdown. This is in comparison to yesterday, right? And yesterday was exuberantly high. So it's very possible that we get that slowdown there on that and not mean anything. Let's look at the crypto bubbles here. Give that a refresh also. We're looking at the hourly. MOG up 6.2%. SUI up 0.97% there. What else we got? TIA's up 0.62. But on the daily, which we take a look at this here, you can see a lot of movement on the altcoins. Altcoins are taking their turn at bat right now after Bitcoin has absolutely crushed it. Guys, we were talking about this yesterday. We said these are altcoins that you need to watch. They're very far off from their all-time highs, and one of them was Arbitrum. We actually looked at the TA yesterday, up 9% in the past 24 hours. This is what we were talking about. Some of these things that are very far off from their previous highs, going to be big movers, and Arbitrum was one of those. Let's look here at the market cap and daily, and you can see Bitcoin up 0.25%, Ethereum another, again, altcoins up 6.5%. Bitcoin is currently coming in at $74,751. Ethereum at 2,800, guys, 2810 right there, up 6.6%. Let's just go down through here and look for other big movers. We got Cardano up 5%. We talked about that yesterday as being one of those big movers that was way off from its all-time high. That's looking pretty good there too. Chainlink 3.5%. That was another one we talked about. It's sitting at $12.24. Let's see. Pepe, meme coins. Gotta love the memes. 8.4%. Up to the upside right now, sitting at lots of zeros and a 101, 102. Just moved up. Let's see. Aave, we talked about that one again. Also, 11% today, guys. So if you were watching yesterday, we talked about these big movers that were sitting way low from their all-time highs that were going to be good risk to reward because they were pretty much at their bottoms of the last cycle. So, yeah, no one cares about you, Hex. Hexicans do. That's it. Maker. I talked about Maker a while back too, that Maker was starting to make a move back into the market, that it had done quite well. We talked about this last week, and that it had done some rebranding stuff. It's up 13.1% here today. So, guys, we give you guys out this information. Just, of course, do your own research, but there is a lot of data that we drop out here that, if you guys write this down, get out your notebook. You guys are in class, right? This is Piper Academy. Get out your notebook, write some of this stuff down, and listen in when you hear these things and go check it out. Economic calendar, guys. I posted this on X earlier. Initial jobless claims. This is the people that have filed for unemployment for the month. What we're looking at here, or for the week, I should say, not the month. Initial jobless claims was at 218,000. It got revised. Was it a revision up or a revision down? Let's go see. It edged higher by 3,000 from the previous week of 221,000, despite the slight increase. The count remained well below the averages, continuing to point to some degree of resilience in the labor market. Yeah, it doesn't show what they revised it from at all. Of course not. Of course they wouldn't do that, would they? It looks like it was 216,000. They revised it to 221. So I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, the numbers overall, though, was consensus of 221, forecast to be 221, came in neutral, not looking horrible there. So we do have the FOMC coming in today at 12 p.m. my time. Randy Hipper, we're sending you all the love too. We'll be there in a little while. Have the music playing. Have the keg ready to go and some tendies. We will absolutely be raiding the frat house here in a bit. As soon as we get out of class, party time over at your place. Fed interest rate decision, though, guys, coming in today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be the Jerome Powell. And then, of course, he's coming in 30 minutes later to start talking. And that mouth does more damage than those numbers, in my opinion. So hopefully he doesn't get too bearish or too hawkish or too dovish. Just dude, status quo. That's all we want right now. Status quo. Let's let things stay on the rails that they're on. If they slow down a little bit on those rails, that's fine. But as long as they keep moving the same direction. So right now, Fed interest rate decision supposed to be 25 basis point. And you can see here, this is based on today, November 7th. This is the CME group. This is the projections for it. There is a 97.4% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut, a 2.6% chance, very slight, very low, that we see a 50 basis point rate cut. I think it's going to be 25. We'll go with that. I'll take it. What do we have on the Kabisi letter today, or on the X marks the spot today? Let's talk about some of this. Yeah, hey guys, look at their fear and greed. They've got Bitcoin, or the multifactorial crypto market sentiment, as of right now, is sitting at 77 for extreme greed in the market. We're going to look at this. This isn't even the $300,000 Bitcoin, guys. This one here is from Titan of Crypto, and he's got a target of 110 based off this cup and handle here that started printing in 2022. The dip down, there was our bottom cup and handle. You guys have seen it. It's a bit all over the place, but that one's got a target of 110. So I'm just saying 300,000, that there's numbers in between here that I'll take, between here and that 300K, that I'm more than fine with. So I did want to show this. Trump is ending wars and sending Bitcoin. So check this out. This is Palestinians are dismayed by Trump. Can you shrink for me? Can you do that? Thanks. Thanks. There we go. All right. Palestinians dismayed by Trump's win. Their leaders urging peace. Incredible what happens when you get the FAFO president in the office. He's coming. They know that. Can we just get peace now? Because he will turn us into a sheet of glass. It's what happens. Different sentiment, different strokes for different folks, different bombs for different moms. I don't know. We'll go with it though, guys. That's what we're seeing there. Leaders urging peace now in the Middle East. So amazing how that works. Absolutely amazing. It reminds me of this National Geographic I was watching one time. We'll talk about the Dixie here in a bit. Yeah, let's go over here to DuoCam. That's your news for today. So check this out. We got this lion. There's a bunch of lions, mom lions, female lions. They were out, getting food, try to bring it back to feed everybody, because that's what the women lion do. They go out and they do all the hunting. And the hyenas kept just messing with them badly. They were just kept harassing them, trying to take the food, this and that. And very frustrating to watch for like 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the male lion finally gets up, walks over, smacks one, knocks it rolls it like 20 feet, and then turns around and looks at the other ones, and all the hyenas just leave. All that chaos, all that fight, and then one single swipe from the dad lion, and it was done. The whole thing was just over with. They were like, "Yeah, that food's not that important." That's what it's like watching. That's what it's like watching Donald Trump come into office with all of this BS that's been going on with conflicts all over the freaking world. The FAFO president's back. Take note. F around and find out, Donald Trump style. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some Bitcoin. That's what I got there. I want to take a look at Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about $300,000 Bitcoin. OC, what's that number you had in mind?
That was $500,000 Bitcoin. What?
Yeah.
Are we getting there now? Nice,
bro. I think that's a little too bullish, but we'll look at what it all what it's all telling us right now. We are getting a little pullback currently right now in the market, so let's take a look at that. All right. So we had this nice little pump here, rally, all on the back of Trump. Trump there did a nice retest back to this level of support, was previous resistance back here. Got a nice little bounce off of that to the upside, and then we hit a high last night of 76,509.56, and now we're starting to get this little pullback. It's okay. I'll take it. It is just kind of flattening out here. We are getting a nice little level of support here in the ballpark of about 74,500. I think that we can come all the way back, honestly, to our trend line. We can come back and retest this. I'm not afraid of that. We do have an 887 at 73,887 in here, but where could we really look and see some action? Where is my line? Right there. That value area high is coming in at about 71,620. I don't think that that's a horrible range to come back to when you consider that lows, right? If we come back and we do a low to this level, it's still a higher low set for a higher high. So remember, guys, it can't just go straight up. That's not a healthy market. We do have to see some retracement. So I'm watching between 71.6 up to about 73, $74,000 there. That's what I'm watching on Bitcoin. We are getting a nice cool off here despite a very small pullback. This pullback from the top here to where we are right now is a pullback of about 2.4%. That's not that big of a deal. If we do get that pullback all the way down to some of those levels I was talking about, that would be a retracement of about 3.4%. Again, no big deal. Down to our horizontal support, that would be about 4.925%, somewhere in that ballpark, and then 6.3%. Not a bad retracement. It would give a nice cool off to all of our indicators here, giving us a nice, little settle down, Bitcoin. You're getting ahead of yourself. Volume is looking good. Money flow is looking good here. Beyond that, I mean, True 7 doing a nice reset and the Oscillator Ribbon's doing a nice reset. We did get a call for the top right there. That is, you guys can see where that downtrend arrow printed, and right there it is this candle. So Chart Prime Oscillator calling the top before this little pullback. Again, like always, because it's bussing. The most bussing indicators in the market, if you will. We also had a chart pattern top here, pulling back below that. So shout out to Chart Prime on that too. Yeah, let's go and let's check out the liquidation heat map in the OC. We're going to come back and take a look at what you got on your chart. Let's take a look at this heat map though. Shout out to TradeFly. This is his forte. He brings it to the show, and I'm going to continue it on. Yeah, exactly. 3%. That's nothing, Poppy. I love it. I love it. Crypto Trades in the house. One of our mentors over there at the Chart Prime Discord. So great to have him in here with us. All right, so taking a look at this, I do see the 2-week. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Let's look at the 24-hour. We got a little spot of yellow of the heat map down here coming in at about $74,000. It's about $100 million down there. Let's look at the 48-hour. Not a whole lot above us. We do have one spot here that's coming in at about $76,000. But if you look here, maybe 74. We just talked about that level. You don't really see anything on this heat map that starts to give pause for concern until you get to the 2-week chart. 2-week chart has a nice big heat map down here of about $500 million. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about $500 million. And that's coming in at about 66,790. Let's go back and take a look at that chart. 66,790. Where would that be at? Good Lord. That would be all the way back in this range here. So all the way back into that range of where your mom buys Bitcoin, which has played out well for her here, but this is where that range would be back at. So that's the first call of focus where we have to go, all right, here's your front line, forward line of troops. Shift focus, transition your field of fire. That we do have a little cause of concern right there, 66,700. So if we do start to come back, guys, watch for that liquidity zone. That might be where we get our next bounce. So if it pulls back, I don't think it's going to go that far, but it easily can. And I want you guys to be aware. Knowledge is profit, right? OC, what do you have for us? Let's jump over and check out your chart. I think that we have some local support that we're going to hit. I don't know that we're going to go that far down and test that other one. But, hey, it is FOMC day, man. You never know what Jerome Powell's going to do. And he does have a whole different he does have a whole different mindset that he has to have now. Now it's not just about where's inflation and where are job numbers. It's where's inflation, where are job numbers, what are tariffs going to do to inflation, what are government efficiency going to do to job numbers. He's got to kind of project out now with all new data filled, because I'm willing to bet he was not expecting Trump to win either. So shout out to those that did not know, and now they're crying every day on YouTube. So FD White made a comment last night. He made a comment last night. He goes, I go to X and everyone's celebrating. I go to Facebook and everyone's sad. Same, dude. Same. True story. That is my life right now. OC, let's see what you got on your chart, though, bro. And let's get it going, man.
So I would say that Jerome Powell would need to see if he appreciates his job or not, right? But this is a little bit of my spaghetti, guys. Remember that this was my next taking profits. I'm still on this trade with 25% of my original entry here. I'm still holding my stop loss. By the way, I'm going to be moving it to the bottom of this box. Remember that I mentioned if I see election in favor, if Donald Trump wins, I will see price of Bitcoin going all the way here, basically, and then retracing into this box. All right, keep that in mind. Already, Harris is no longer in the play at this point, so let's just keep it as is. I don't think that I'm going to be just taking out. It is that double bottom formation that I was expecting to enter the trade. All right, it is already gone. We already are into the trade, so that's what I'm cleaning up. And the flip of the ribbon, as always, just happened, just slightly more squeezed in. All right, so let's also get that out of the way because we already nailed them. All right, so guys, if you want to see future predictions, come to the Piper Academy. Piper and I will be more than glad to show you our crystal balls, right? So other than that, let's take a look at what do I see. Remember the guys that I told you, a retracement and then range around this box, right? Another thing it is, shout out to FD White. Yesterday I got together with him and we both were looking at the charting here, and I think we came out with a very elegant solution. It was a spaghetti, I mean, all over the place. But at the end of it all, we just kind of like remove everything that was not adding to the charts or basically was covered for something more simple. And this was it. In fact, this was my message for him, right? Did we call it or what, right? I mean, so we were looking at this area right here. I was looking also at a possible goose head, which actually played out. So goose head very nicely. There we go. When we have a goose head on the best case scenario, I'm looking for a further movement to the upside or at least a double top section like this, all right? That depends also where the goose head is located and what my prime score is at. All right. So at that point, we were right here. We had that goose head, and then we nailed it at right here at target. Look at how or what else am I expecting here, right? Which is once again the pullback. I don't know why I tend to draw things a little bit more expanded, but whatever. The thing is that we're going down, and guess what am I expecting right here? I'm expecting convergence on where right when we have that parity or that border between the green cloud and the red cloud. This could also be, I mean, this is my very first point of contact, right? The next one could be just a little bit more, or a little bit lower, right into that zero line, which is going to be taking us a little bit lower. How low you will say it, and I completely agree with Piper. Let me bring out my tools in here, and what I'm going to be looking at first, it is the big disparity. Why? What happens on big disparity areas when nobody aims at the same point? That usually is a characteristic of retail money, right? What do we see on retail money? We see ranges usually, right? Before a move. So cutting the dumping here on a retail area will basically be a range. Exactly, yes. And I think that will be enough space to then what? To start looking for flip of the ribbon, right? Something that plays out here with Chart Prime, that is both a, I don't know, a good thing. And I would say also for me, a little bit of a bad thing. It is that it just gives you that easy to read information that you can do even 3-4 step ahead in the market. But when you have that clarity, you need to understand also you need to understand this, that the charts are like the weather, right? The more data you got, the farther you can look into the future, but also the more that you look into the future, You are taking consideration right now factors. And remember, I mean, who knows? Maybe Tesla coming here and says, "Hey, I'm going to be selling my Bitcoin," right? Who's stopping them from doing that? What indicator can tell you that? No one, because that is an inside decision, right? So just be careful when using chart prime because it gives you that clarity. But remember that looking farther into the future will it's also taking out the right now factor, but in the future. I don't know if that makes sense. So just do come back to you, do your analysis, and see how things are changing and evolving. Something important to look through it is order blocks, and look at this because this is very interesting. Soft order block getting some more volume. We have something around 3,896 big kind of disparity here. Still not as big for calling out the price action all the way down here. And in the meantime, or in the intermediate point, we have a automated trend line. Look at where is it crossing, right here. So what could I be expecting? Maybe a little bit of that movement and then bounce back up. So I do agree with Piper. I think that a little bit of a pullback is coming. Where exactly? Let's just be humble. We don't know, but we have right here the higher possibilities, right? The higher accuracy zones, and that's where I'm going to be looking at. So possible reentry if you did not cut an entry, it's going to be somewhere around 72,595, right? As we have flip of the ribbon. Remember, flip of the ribbon at support. It doesn't matter if the flip of the ribbon is happening here, right? Or is happening, oh, come on, or is happening here, or is happening right down here. Doesn't matter. Flip of the ribbon, well, price action is at support. That's going to be for it. Let me throw it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll tell you what's actually doing well today, and it has been doing well ever since the elections. That's going to be your DXY. It is getting small. Well, it's not doing well today. It's been doing well. It is getting a small pullback though. Let's jump over and take a look at that, and then we'll talk about what's going on with the Dixie. This sell-off today that we're having on the DXY, I do believe has to do with the FOMC coming up today. But overall, guys, we hit all the way up to 105.43 here on the DXY. Looking at quite bullish in my opinion. And right now we're just doing this pullback here. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart. So starting on Wednesday morning there, it started to come back down. Why is this a level that I think is important to hold? Because it's our previous resistance level, and you can see there's just a lot of play in this range here. So what I'm going to be watching for is this to get a bounce here in the green zone. We did print on the 3D trend that this was a bullish move to the upside now for continuation. So look for a bounce somewhere in this green zone down to about 104. At the bottom side, 104.31 right now is where we are. So about another 31-cent move. But when we look at this overall at what's happening in the markets, we'll go back and look at that chart in a second, just so you know. DXY US dollar index soars to a 4-month high as Trump victory boosts the greenback demand. Markets are cheering the Trump win election, and the US dollar rallies against rivals. What is that talking about? That's all we need to talk about there on the article. We'll come over here and discuss it. The rivals, that's other currencies, guys, other global currencies. So we are seeing a whole lot of the world's economies going, oh, this is very bullish for the U.S. economy, very bullish for the U.S. dollar strength, the U.S. dollar market. So we're going to go back and hold U.S. dollars again. We're seeing a flip back globally back to the US dollar, which ultimately equates to liquidity for the US market. So, guys, pretty bullish in my opinion. That's why the bull is back in here in the house with me. You see him right there. Right there. The bull is back in the house right now because I'm seeing global economic shifts that tell me continuation of bullish markets in the U.S. So that's what I'm watching there. We are about at the top of the hour. Let me go over here and check and see if we have anything at the top of the hour. Nope, nothing on the economic calendar at the top of the hour. I think it's safe for us to go ahead and move into some altcoins, OC. Let me check X marks the spot real fast just to make sure that I did not have anything on there. Oh, yes, I did. This is in line with what I was just talking about. Let's jump over here. Oh, see, you can join me. Guys, Kabisi Letter said, we just witnessed history, okay? Yesterday, the S&P 500 posted its largest daily gain in history on the day after an election day. largest in history. The index jumped 2.53%, added $1.2 trillion of market cap, and closed at a fresh all-time high. Did a brand new bull market just start? To put this into perspective, the average return for the day after the election is a negative 0.58%. Okay. Only 10 out of the last 25, or 40% of these days, have resulted in a positive return. So we're better than 40% of the 60% of the market's returns after an election. There have also been 2 times in history with a return of over 2%, 2024 and 2020. So what happened the last time we saw a 2% gain on this day? In 2020, this resulted in a 1-week gain of 5.2%, meaning market continuation to the upside that way, and a gain of 8.8%. Over the next year, the S&P rallied 38.3%, 4 times its average annual return. History suggests that we could see more upside. In fact, all indices were an average of 63.2% higher 4 years later. In 2016, when Trump won, the S&P returned 1.1% on the day after Election Day. 4 years later, the S&P was 64% higher, and the NASDAQ rallied 151.6%. There's those tech sectors, right? Our clients got ahead of this move. Yep, we know that. You guys get the KBC letter and you get that data. Hashtag subscription share. Our view was that the risk levels were elevated, and here's an oil alert that they posted for their premium clients on Monday. They bought oil at $67.50 and sold at $71.50 ahead of the election. So, guys, a lot of good data coming from the KBC letter. You guys should check out our Discord. We do share some data over there on that stuff. So, that being said, are we starting a new bull run, a new bull market, OC? Are we seeing stuff that says it's time, we've made new levels, here's where we typically shoot hard when these things happen? I'm seeing some things on the bull Bitcoin chart, on one of my charts, but I'd like to know your opinion on it. What are we just now starting the bull cycle?
Oh man, I mean, it is hard to answer that, right? But you know that I'm kind of like extremely bullish, right? In fact, one of my predictions was half of a million US dollars per Bitcoin, which again I know is a far reach, for a far stretch, but still the possibilities are there, right? Let's not underestimate the capabilities both from retail and from institutional money, because despite retail has enough money or even more money than institutional money, who puts on the chunks for FOMO or food, it's going to be institutional money. And I was just reading, and I don't have this news right now, but I was reading something about, and I don't know why I did not bring them, something about BlackRock talking about they buy more Bitcoin for a possible financial crisis. Please fact check that. I don't have the news here, but yesterday I was reading about it. So now what's happening? We're seeing that push of the mainstream media of, hey, you're getting late, go buy Bitcoin. Usually that is because they want the price to pump so they can dump on you, right? Maybe not dump it completely, but start taking some profits. And especially after the elections, after we see S&P 500 just bursting, after the dollar blowing up, right? Everything just playing out great. I think this is kind of like one of those signals that we're going to be seeing now, retail coming back in for that FOMO. And if the momentum is good enough, so if we have that big burst that we have like at the beginning, the overshoot will create a little bit more FOMO, and we're going to get started with that chain reaction. And I'm really hopeful that that is the start, because that change reaction will also give FOMO to institutional money, although they already have plans. Their plans will change, like we were talking about, bear market folder, bull market folder. What's going to be the plan, right? And they're just going to keep following with whatever happens. So it's on us. Again, I'm not telling you to buy the top at all, right? But just keep following as the stream media start evolving and play it out with the narrative. Be careful. Narrative usually is at the end of a bull market to take some profits on the big players. But still, I think that this is the beginning of the bull run. Well, at least midpoint, right?
At least the midpoint. It's according to Rect Capital, we're 47.5% of the way into the market. Just so you know, the bull run. Matter of fact, I can pull that up and show you what that looks like, and then we'll jump over to a Bitcoin chart. Let's start talking about some of these levels because we do have an article that's talking about $300,000, but I just want to show you guys why we might actually just be starting the bull run officially now, and everything else has been off of institutional hype up to this point. Let's jump over here, check out this article here, this post here from Rect Capital. Bull market progress is 47.5% of the way in right now. So there, I just wanted to show that, just getting started. I close that out. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Let's jump over here and take a look at this, guys. This is a chart that I've showed you guys before a while back, and it's based on the highs and then pullbacks of each cycle, and then where we are at the end of that cycle. And this is looking right now at 2010 here through 2014 time period, that 4-year period. Okay. We had our pull up here and then pull back. So the measurement is pulled from highs to lows on this. And you can see what happens here when we get into the 786 line. That's our first break. This is hey, we're coming into the range. But really, what starts it all is when we break the 1-to-1 line. That's the red line on all of these fibs that I'm getting ready to show you guys. We go up to the 1618. We come back, retest it. Do typically get a rejection there. So we'll remember that rejection on the 1618. We'll look and see what that price looks like in the current cycle. Almost topping out here at the 2.36 for this cycle here. Let's go into the next bull cycle here. We have our top range that this is pulled from. This is from here down to here, okay? And you can see that's the 1-to-1 line. Again, we come in, hey, look, 786, we're breaking it. It's happening. There's our 1-to-1 line. We break that. There's a lot of resistance here on that 1-to-1 line that took place. I'm looking at monthly candles. So this took place like over almost 4 months of rejection on this line before we break through it. And then once it does, it's just an absolute rocket moonshot almost to the top of the 2.36, okay? This is the time period between 2014 to 2018. Let's go look at the next cycle here and see what that looked like for us. This one, a little bit different. Everyone thought we were going to $100,000 Bitcoin. That would have well put us into our orange zone up here. But we had this double top. Where at? On the 1.618. Hint, hint. Little level there that we could have been looking at it had I had this chart back then. But pulling from the top here down to the bottom again, you can see we come in, we hit that 786, come back, close all of our candles right here on another fib. It takes off. It goes up. Hey, we're breaking the 786 here. Consolidation. Alert, alert. In the red zone. We're cleared for launch. We break that 1-to-1 line. It takes off straight up to the 1618. And that was our top. Did small pullback, hit it again, double top, and then down it goes. Okay. That is what happened that cycle. Let's take a look at the current cycle and let's talk about this because we got a thing going on here, folks. We have a pull here from our top, again, the 1-to-1 line, down to our bottom. And when you go take a look here, the 382 played, the 786 was rejection. We finally break through it. Warning, warning, warning. Way earlier than normal. Okay, this has happened way before the halving. Typically, it happens after the halving, right? This is why I said I think that we may have gotten this rally, this bull, what made people go, we're in a bull market, way before it should have, and that's that institutional hype there, right? But we come back and we do a clean retest on the 786. Now, after a lot of consolidation inside of our 1-to-1 line, we have finally gotten a break above it. You can see here, our retest was on the 1-to-1 line on this wick right there. Do you guys see that? Let's go ahead and take a look at where this price action could go. Just to take us to the 1618, guys, that's a $166,000 Bitcoin. 166,000 right there. That's an interesting number. Why? Because if we come back over here and we look at my bookmarks and we go take a look at what Titan of Crypto said here, he's got a $110,000 just off this cup and handle. Okay. Looking at the breakout to the 1.618, that's 166,000. But I've got an article here that I want to talk about because this article is the reason of the thumbnail. Nope, not that. It is this one. Analyst predicts the final ascent for Bitcoin price. Why a rise to $300,000 is possible from here, guys. Again, hashtag Bull Piper is back, right? Let's go take a look. Bitcoin price has now returned into a full bullish sentiment now that the crypto fear and greed index has flipped into greed. This shift reflects growing confidence among investors as optimism takes hold in the crypto market. Final ascent for Bitcoin price. Crypto analyst Gert Van Lagen took to social media platform X to share an intriguing outlook concerning Bitcoin and its price action this year in light of the recent U.S. presidential elections and its effect of its price. Speaking at an intriguing outlook for the Bitcoin price, analyst Van Lagen highlighted that Bitcoin is still on track to reach $250,000 this year, which would be amazing. I don't think that that's feasible. I don't think that happens this year yet. We could be talking this cycle, just, maybe early 2025. I don't think it's going to happen yet. But his analysis is a detailed look at the cup and handle pattern that's been developing on Bitcoin's price chart since 2022 bear market. According to the analysis, the cup portion of this pattern began forming in early 2022. And there it is. You look at this cup and handle and you pull this over, guys, that's hitting easily there at a $300,000. Even if you pull it from the bottom, it's still hitting at about a $225,000 Bitcoin. That was my Bitcoin prediction call. I believe Alex O did that also. And shout out to Alex O in the chat, joining us here out of gang in the house. OC, have you heard anything about people moving to Canada since Alex O's in here? Have you heard anything about that?
This is hilarious, guys. Just so you know, I mean, I wanted to Trump to win, but also having that in mind, it's always good to have a good laugh at yourself, right? Oh, there's something else that I want to share. But talking about walls, yeah, I'm ready to move into the news. Talking about walls, let's take a look at the Google Trends in here on the state. Look at that, November the 6th at 2 a.m. or right here, November the 6th at 5 a.m. Moving to Canada on the United States trend. Look at that. That spike on research, guys. I mean, come on. Immigration is not it's not the answer. Although, if you want to take a look at your chances, somewhere else, that is completely respectful, and I endorse it. But taking a look in a global scale, from migrating all of the population from one country to everywhere else, that is not the answer, right? But Alex, let me know, what would you do as president, right, or prime minister of Canada, when you got people rushing into your free medical stuff and taking your jobs? Now, I'm just kidding. But let me know. It's a little bit funny there.
OC, what it might have been, that surge in Google searches of moving to Canada might be all of the illegal migrants that moved into the U.S. that are now looking at mass deportation in January, going, "How do I keep moving north?" So
yes, I not thought about that, to be honest.
All right, I want to get back over. Shout out to Alex O, though, but I know you wanted to show that, but I want to continue looking at this chart and talk about where we could be heading from here. Why $300,000, not totally insane. So we'll be right back with that, with more OC in a second. But I want to jump back over here. OC, let's go sit here and let's talk about this. So we have broken the one-to-one line, guys. Alex O threw me into a total conversation because I love Alex that much. I will stop what I'm doing just for him. So look at here, guys. We've broken the one-to-one. We proved it as a retest on this monthly so far. That one-to-one line currently coming in at about $68,000 even. If we get up to that 1.618, which is what we did last cycle, that again puts us around a $170,000, $168,000 Bitcoin. Take that too. But what happens? Because we've heard many people say that this cycle feels a whole lot more like this cycle than it does this cycle, right? That's what we've heard. And I don't disagree with that. There's a lot of fundamental structure that matches up better to this cycle than this cycle, okay? If we were to do that and we were to hit anywhere up in this orange box range on this current cycle, what would that look like for Bitcoin? Well, let's just go to look where that $300,000 level is. That $300,000 level is coming in at about the 50% mark on it. Not a crazy concept at all. Top side of this, though, OC, $500,000 on the top side of this, just so you know. So there's this orange box proves a whole lot of calls correctly that we had seen going on those crazy number side. But when you look at the history and what can happen with Bitcoin on these fibs, not so crazy. Not so crazy. I know $300,000 Bitcoin, $500,000 Bitcoin seems insane right now. Very, very possible that we could see numbers like that just based on fib structure. I do want to point one thing out. If we have economic shakeout, okay, because I do still think that we do have a possibility coming of a recession. Matter of fact, I want to point out, yes, right here, in that article that I was just reading about the 300,000, in the case of Bitcoin price and its breakout from the cup and handle pattern, Gert Van Logen highlighted a surge to the $300,000 price level. Notably, this outlook is also based on the prediction of a recession in the next 6 months. Guys, it is still possible that we see that. That means that we get a pullback from a recession, right? We could see the bounce out of recession start long before the next halving cycle. And we have what looks like a continuation. Shout out to Eric Wallen. He asked this question in my Discord. It could look like a continuation of a super cycle. If that is to happen, then I think that we would break the 4-year cycle. We would be looking at a super cycle. And that question that he asked in the Discord, not so crazy. So Lunar Beaches, that is not true. I do love you more than anything. Matter of fact, I keep talking about you. And did Joe Biden drop out on Google Trends? Big spike on election day. Type in did Joe Biden drop out on Google Trends? There's a big spike on election day. Like people didn't know that Joe Biden wasn't even on the ticket. Wow. Guys, I don't think a lot of people even look at the news. I don't think a lot of people look at news. I don't think a lot of people tune in to get information. They're just doing the autopilot through life, man. And they're doing autopilot through life, and that is not the way to be. If you want to live on autopilot through life, sure, it's easy, but it's also going to be really hard. Life is hard for dumb people. It's really hard for lazy and dumb people. Don't be lazy and don't be dumb. Do your research. Get your research. Get your knowledge. OC, let's go check out some altcoins, bro. Because I am wearing the ETH shirt today. I'm going to talk about that. By the way, guys, I have started. You guys may have heard me say I'm only in Bitcoin and Bitcoin exposure. I've started some DCA into some alts. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. Stay tuned. We got about 12 more minutes before we go raid the frat house. The average person is dumb. Yes, 40. I used to say this. 40% of everyone I meet on a daily basis is a complete idiot. That's why I don't like people. So, OC, what do you got for alts for us, bro? What you got?
Absolutely. First of all, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a hint, guys. I'm going to be sharing this with all of you. This is my thought process. I usually take a look at some notations, give you what I'm seeing, where I'm seeing stuff, right? And also I give you a plan. I don't do signals per se, right? But depending on what time of the day is it, usually at the end of my day, that's when I go and scavenge for some coins or some trades that I do. So I usually do a little bit of overview for you guys to kind of like have a little peek into my brain. I go right here to trade calls on the Piper Academy. Oh, not that one. Let's just hide this. Sorry, my bad. And then just paste it here for you guys to have a little bit of a hint of what I'm looking at. Where am I expecting those movements? And also you have a read down plan so you can go back and watch it and see what's happening. Something important is that I give you very specific instructions. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Like for example, let's take a look at right here. Number where was it? Number 4, main entry at the bottom of the range. Main entry at the bottom of the range, right? Because we have this range right here. And then line with in capital letters with FOR. What does FOR stands for? Flip of the ribbon. So remember, early flip of the ribbon for early entry. Main flip of the ribbon also right here at the bottom of the range with the price action reaction. That's going to be the place I'm going to be looking at. Just a little bit of that insight for you guys. So if you are not subscribed to our Discord, what are you waiting for? We have a ton of great guys there. We have a ton of information, and we're always sharing a ton of stuff. I want to go over right now and take a look at XRP. Alex, oh, crypto, are you here, my friend? Are you here? Because yesterday I was debating. I told him, hey, buddy, when are you going to be jumping into XRP? And I even called him, hey, please go into the your 4-hour XRP and take a look at the dynamic reactor. Look at that beautiful bull flag. By the way, I need to also call this out because I'm calling him out, so I need to also call myself out, right? My entry was not as I was expecting. My entry was right down here. The pullback was, oh, come on. The pullback was just not enough to grab my entry. I was looking already at a retest, and I was trying to get one lucky candle to jump back in. I did not have it, so I let it run. Look at that. That was not a 3%. That was a 8.7%. At a 10x, that would have been 87%. There we go. We're coming back down, and we're having a little bit of absorption week. So far, it looks like we are having what? An indecision candle, but that will be resolved after we see the results right here on then the flip of the ribbon that I'm going to be expecting. Look at that trend line in here. I'm expecting a flip of the ribbon somewhere around this trend line, and that's when I'm going to be looking for a possible reentry. Yeah, guys, I mean, XRP, we need to admit that it's kind of like a betting to USDC or any stable coin, right? It has not been moving. Nonetheless, I did see the opportunity, and boom shakalaka. So XRP played out very nicely. Let me throw it back to you.
All right. Yep. So I was just reading the rest of this article, guys. There was a section down at the bottom underneath something that I missed. There was a stake ad, and I skipped that, so I missed this part. I got to show you this. In terms of a projected timeline, Van Logan expects that Bitcoin reaches 250,000 and then 300,000 at the latest by February 25th. That's interesting because Alex O and I have talked in detail about why we think that March, the end of quarter one, might be a good time to start taking some profit. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading at $78,845. A surge towards 250 to 300,000 would represent a 235% and a 300% increase from its current price levels, guys. That's a 3x on Bitcoin alone. What can those altcoins do? That's a good question. OC, we had a request for Chainlink. I'm going to go take a look at that real fast, and then that should take us to the bottom of the hour because I got to tell the people what I'm dollar cost averaging into. So let's get that going, and let's jump over to my Chainlink chart. Let me get that in here. Give me a second to set it up for you guys here. Bitcoin's pumping again, guys. Bam. I talked about this. I said this is a good level. We're getting a nice level of support here, and Bitcoin is starting to move up again. Right now, it is coming in at $75,400. Let's go check out Chainlink, see what it's doing right now per request. So we do have a level here. I think we're going to be heading back up to $13.13 there. Just easily. I think that if we do come down, watch for a bounce here at about $11.67. We have turned green on the 3D trend. Money, goodness gracious. I'm choking over here. I'm dying. Sorry about that. We do have volume index printing green, and the money flow is still green. It is starting to come down a little bit. So yeah, watch for us to come in, bounce at about $11.67 before we come back up here again. We have grabbed the liquidity from these previous levels pretty good. So yeah, I do think if we have a downside move, it goes to about $11.67. I think the upside, we're going to probably test this bottom of this trend. What is this trend, guys? It is a trade range here that we were in for quite a while. We did have some breaks above it. It became support on the top side of this for a while there also. But watching this range here is where I would see us coming back into. If we reject off of that, that's fine. Watch for it to break through. Point of control is going to be coming in right there at about 1425. So we've retested the value area low. It only makes sense to come up. The value area low is running right there underneath this box. And so it does make sense for us to go to the point of control. We just got to get back into this box range. Shout out to OC, Mexican Spaghetti. He taught me how to make that. So OC, we got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. What do you got on your chart? Let's take a look at one more altcoin, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. So what I'm doing for alt entries.
Perfect. Aerodrome. Aerodrome, I think it's a good one to start looking at here. We were looking at, I don't remember if that was yesterday or the day before, and I was expecting a pullback on a resistance level. Remember that I always do, just like I mentioned on Bitcoin, FOR at resistance, right? Or FOR at support. Remember, what are we expecting here? The FOR. What does FOR stand for? Flip of the ribbon, right? So what happened? We were right at a resistance. Yeah, we have the comeback that we were already expecting, right? We went downwards in momentum, but we keep pushing upwards. So do we have the FOR? Not just yet. Are we heading to the FOR? Yes. So this analysis is still valid, but needs to go a little bit higher here, right? Everything's going to go higher at this point, like this, all right? Everything's going to go higher. Everything's still within place, right? And that's what we're going to be looking forward right now in Aerodrome. So FOR at support, right? Breaking to not only all of the reactors, including quantum reactor and the previous high. So previous highs, previous resistance becomes new support, right? It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, but with FOR, and off we go. So Aerodrome still within place. Let's just adjust our possible entry here, and let's see if we can get it.
Awesome. So I'm pulling up my stuff now just so I can reference it for you guys. So here's what I'm doing. So I know that we're like things are moving up and they're moving high. So I don't want to ape in now into my altcoins. So what I'm doing is dollar cost averaging into some stocks plays and some altcoin plays. Not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. Do your own research. But I am doing some micro buys over the next 4 months. That will put me in line with the February time period of when I think that we could be seeing tops going into March for quarter 1, when all this data starts to really become aggregated. Reminder, we do have a annual jobs revision. Like we saw that had the 817,000 jobs that weren't really there get taken out of the system a while back. That only went through March of this year. So March of next year is when we get the next revisions coming out. I think it's the end of February, maybe a beginning of March, but we could see another massive revision coming into play in quarter 1. So I'm looking at that data coming in being a hard pullback, right? So that's why I'm looking heavily at quarter 1, and that's why I'm dollar cost averaging in on these micro buys for the sake of clarity. It's like $100 to $120 per project daily. Of course, crypto 7 days a week. My stocks 5 days a week on traded days. So for the stocks, I'm getting into. Actually, let me do the cryptos first that I'm actually buying right now, and those 4 are Ondo Finance. I'm doing orders there every day. Matter of fact, my second one picked up for today because I started it yesterday. Ethereum, Sui, and Chainlink. Those are my 4. I'm keeping it simple. I know there's other projects out there that probably would do better. There's other projects out there that are lower on how far they are from the all-time highs, but these are the 4 that I'm looking at, that I'm going with: Ondo, Ethereum, Sui, and Chainlink. And then on the because I'm doing the same amount on Ethereum as I am the other altcoins, and the price differential is so big, I am also doing $120 per trade day into ETHA, ETHA, which is the Ethereum ETF. So I got that one going. I've got money going in daily onto MicroStrategies, adding to my already large position. Money going into NVIDIA and money going into Tesla. Those are the 4 stock plays that I'm running on. Yeah, hey, I like stocks too, bro. I love stocks, Rick. Love some stocks. But the ones that I do are very high volatile stocks and like things like NVIDIA, Tesla, Elon Musk, NVIDIA, AI play, MicroStrategies, Bitcoin exposure. Before I go, I want to show you guys why MicroStrategies keeps outperforming Bitcoin. There was a fantastic chart that MicroStrategies put out this morning, and I'm going to show you that right now. And we'll look at that on the way out here. Jumping over to the news chart, guys. This is the MicroStrategy play of how they use their Bitcoin treasury to create more Bitcoin reserves and increase the valuation of the company. So they get their Bitcoin, their capital preservation and productivity all goes into Bitcoin. That's over there on the left, right above OC's head. And then you can see that they take that money, they put it into things like 5 to 10x MicroStrategy options calls, MSTX, which is a 2x leverage long on MicroStrategies, and MSTU. Those are at 3x, 1.5x into MicroStrategy equities, and then 1x into spot Bitcoin ETFs. 0.75 conversions of MicroStrategy, and the MicroStrategy dividends are a half of X and a quarter X on MicroStrategy fixed shares. And then all of the profit from that goes back into Bitcoin, and it's a cycle over and over and over again. That is why MicroStrategies is absolutely crushing the return gains on Bitcoin. And that's why I'm so heavy into MicroStrategies for additional Bitcoin exposure on top of my Bitcoin I already have. So that is what we have time for today. It is now 8:31. We are 1 minute past the bottom of the hour. Thank you for joining us today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you all. OC, always great to have you here. You got any words of wisdom about patience to everybody out there? No, I don't love gold. I think that gold is a great hedge, but I don't think right now is the time to be hedging too much. So I will just go with some. I'll enjoy this run for about 4 or 5 months that I think we have coming. Do you have any words about patience for the alumni in the chat right now before we head over to the frat house, OC?
Absolutely. Let me spread out that knowledge, guys. Patience.
And that's it. That is all. That is the end of it. So,
no, guys, just be patient. Look for your entries, right? Really fast. I know that joke was a little bit different, that joke, but wait for your plan, right? That's why we have a plan. Look at how we did with Aerodrome, right? Did not went exactly as planned, but our trigger wasn't hit. So what we do, we just scaled up as the movement goes, so the entry is not gone, right? So that's what you need to have a little bit of a thicker skin right there, right? So wait for that pullback, retrace, look for your entries, execute with security based on your plan, and have a stop loss because you're not gonna nail them all, right? So be patient, execute, set your stop loss, and keep grinding, guys. That's my little bit of a patience setup there for you guys.
absolutely, guys. If you got any value out of today's content, go ahead and smash that like button. And please, if you really enjoyed today's content, share it with a friend, share it with a family member. Let them join and get subscribed to the channel. It's going to help us grow. And you guys are why we do what we do. The more people that follow us, the better we do, and the more I can hook up, the whole team, because we're putting out content here. Guys, if you have not checked out Good Morning Crypto this morning, go check that out. Lunar Beaches was on there with A to Ace talking about cornucopias. Great video. I was watching part of it this morning while I was prepping for the show, so go check that out. And then also tune in tonight for the weekly wrap-up of the Crypto Nightcap. Guys, 2 o'clock today, we're going to be getting that data on the East Coast for the FOMC. And then maybe, I don't know, we'll see where we're at. We may do an afternoon show today. Depends on if OC is available or not to do that. So we might do an afternoon quick show just to tell you how this data came out and what we're looking at in the markets, give you an update on that. If not, tomorrow morning, check out Good Morning Crypto. And then right after that at Market Open for the week closing, the week opening, the last day of the week for the stock market, guys. Join us right here on Piper Academy, the morning market report, where we'll be bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, guys. Let's head over to Randy Hipper's show and let's go raid the frat house. Let's go see our frat mom when you get over there. Drop some graduation cash. Let them know that Piper Academy sends their love. Let's get it, guys. Trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
do it, they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low.
Sound off. To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
Now pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
That was awesome, dude.